All right, welcome back to Power Lunch. Let's talk about tomorrow's big Federal Reserve meeting and maybe one group of stocks that could benefit. It is the subject of today's Market Navigator. That is Dom Chu. What is on the Market Navigator?
All right, so as we talk about tomorrow, the Fed is all but certain to cut interest rates by at least 0.25%. But our next guest says that bank stocks are going to stand to benefit from a rate cut and says that, in fact, the sector has been overlooked and could be ripe for a bigger catch-up trade. Joining us now with this case is Keith Buchanan. He's a senior portfolio manager over at Globalt Investments. The post-Fed decision playbook for you involves the banks. It's no surprise that interest rates are a big focus for those banks. Why these banks and why now?
Thanks a lot for having me. We're looking at the banks as part of a thesis as to if the Fed becomes more dovish than currently anticipated by the Fed futures market, then that group could stand to benefit more than other groups, particularly maybe not the AI tech-oriented trade, but it's had a catch-up trade from a relative standpoint that we've been really impressed with as the market has priced in some of this increased dovishness that it anticipates. So if that becomes part of reality after tomorrow, especially with the rhetoric kind of going forward as a trajectory of monetary policy, that we feel like that group of stocks could really continue a catch-up trade that it's enjoyed over the last several months.
Keith, that group is expansive. There's quite a few of those banks out there. Which ones in particular? The big banks, the medium-sized banks, regional banks, money centers, investment banks? Which are the best ones to capitalize on now? Sure.
We're focused on the money centers. JP Morgan is the largest holding in our largest equity strategy right now. We're going with best of breed. You pay a premium for a stock like JP Morgan, part of the rest of the group, but still at a discount to the market. We feel like the best of breed in that group can continue to close a gap on the rest of the market as those net interest margins and income really come into focus if we have a steeper yield curve, which would be the case in that scenario of the Federal Reserve becoming more and more dovish than expected. And we feel like that JP Morgan has the right tools to extract value out of that environment.
All right, money center banks are the key here, Keith. The other part about this is, as you mentioned, the base case scenario for the markets right now is a 0.25 percentage point cut. What is the post-Fed playbook elsewhere in the market if we do get that 0.25% cut or that kind of lottery ticket, very low odd, larger cut, like, say, 50 basis points?
Right. If there's a jumbo cut, or if rhetoric indicates that that's on the table or could potentially come onto the table in the next couple of meetings, we feel like dollar weakness at that point will be more and more pervasive. Our work is leading us to that scenario if that plays out. Internationally, we feel like there are pockets of emerging markets that become more and more attractive in that scenario. Also, we're looking at yield-sensitive names and spaces that would benefit from more liquidity in the marketplace. The AI trade, we feel like, will continue in that scenario. So there are several spaces globally and here in the U.S. Equity market, we feel like you can take advantage of a more and more increasingly dovish Fed.
All right. Keith Buchanan, Globalt Investments, thank you very much for the post-Fed playbook, the banks, and maybe some of those big tech, AI, and international stocks if we do get a jumbo cut, hypothetically speaking.
You know what I love about you, besides not only that you're handsome and you dress very well.
And you as well.
Well, we often will wear the same ties. Is that you said percentage point, not basis point. I love that because 25 basis points is just a fancy way of saying one quarter of 1%.
50 basis points, half of a percent.
Because Wall Street will operate in these little sort of like almost penny increments. A basis point is effectively a penny. There's 100 in 1%. So thank you. Also, 2-0 49ers.
Yes.
2-0 Chargers.
Yes, I know where you're going with this.
I don't want to jinx it. 2-0 Rams.
Here's the thing. Of those teams, only one of them is on a backup quarterback with a lot of injuries still plaguing it right now. So the Niners are 2-0 with both Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. I'm a proud Niners fan.
And you, my friend, are Purdy.
Oh,
so Purdy.
I like that.